was just making a video to tell you about this toy in Lily's bowl, how she's had it since she was a baby. And here she is again. She will not eat anything unless this toy is near it, okay? And this toy used to be a whole bunch of other, like a big giant mouse, and she's kind of done this. It's about 6 years old now. And she won't eat unless that toy is with her. And she's had it since she was first adopted, almost 6 years ago at the Humane Society, when she was just like 2 months old. So she's had it for a while, and it's helping me remember the cats I used to have and all their sweet toys, and the dogs I used to have, and how they each had their own specific toy. Like, one of them had a little squeaky pig, the other one had a red bone. There were little fluffy animals and they each had their own little thing. Some of them would just get like bite the edge of a blanket and do their little, baking dough type of thing, making bread or whatever you want to call it. And she does this with her toy, and then she plays fetch. And I realized after I stopped making the previous video just now, these little people, they have personalities just like people do. They may not be as, involved as people, because people have massive forms of technology and thousands of excuses to work or not to work, or to go do something or not to do something. It's people are complex because they make themselves complex. Cats, they're kind of simple actually, like dogs. They love things, they remember things, they care for things. There's a sentimentality between them. There's a cherishing that goes on. And I see this clearly, and as an empath, I feel it even more every day. Lily really loves her toy. She really feels something. She can't eat without it. It's very strange. She loves to play fetch. She only plays fetch when she knows I'm not okay in a way. She loves playing it normally, but whenever she sees me sitting down and I'm just, stressed out thinking about something, or I'm having this heart racing thing, she feels it and shows up. And she has that cute little rubber band in her mouth, and then she just sits there and meows until we play fetch. So whoever is telling you that animals don't have a soul, that they don't have consciousness, or that they don't have any form of, emotional capacity to remember or to feel, tell them to kiss your butt, because they absolutely do. They absolutely do. Cats remember, and people remember things so deeply. And other people that don't feel things as deeply, they take it for granted. So when I say my previous cats, Link and Emma and Demi and Lexi, and all the beautiful fur babies I've had in my life, from Charlie to Ellie, Leia, Lexi, Jasper, Demi, Link, and Emma, I've loved all of them, and they've all loved me, and they remember and I remember, and we all have these sentimental connections and threads that connect us, and it's this beautiful tapestry of life. And it all starts with tiny little toys that bring laughter to a little creature's life. Because it connects them to a memory. I haven't seen my other babies in a while. I don't know how long it's been anymore. But I have zero doubt that when I see them in some dimension, in some timeline, wherever it may be, they'll know exactly who I am, and then that they feel, I mean, look at this. I'm gonna hide your toy. It's mine. Oh, you're just gonna sit on the toy like an egg now. Okay. That's fine. Please be kind to your pets, to your family members, to your friends, to your co-workers, to your neighbors, to your lovers, and to your ex-lovers. I mean, geez, I wish I would have been nicer to some of the people I dated when I was in my teens and 20s. I was thinking about a few of them recently, and it made me so sad how things had ended. And I carry those memories with me, unable to communicate with some of them, even like family members that I'm unable to communicate with, that I have such a deep love for, but when I speak to them, I can only speak to them based on what they know and their capacity to comprehend and feel. Now, that is in no way an insult to anybody. If you're taking it that way, please don't. My attempt at interpreting what I'm learning is faulty, and I'm aware of that. So I'm doing what I can to, what's the word? Put it as elegantly as I can, because it's an elegant topic. It's very, very simple. Everybody loves, but we all love to a different capacity. Just because I love Lily, 1,000,000,000% doesn't mean that it's the same for somebody else. They could love her too, but they could love her in a bigger way than I do. They've, time and seniority and different experiences that have happened with the people changes the amount of, it changes. It makes things deeper. It brings a sense of history to things. So she has a massive sense of history with this toy. And I don't know that story. I don't know why she loves that toy so much. All I know is she's had it her entire life. But who gave it to her? Who was the first person to, show it to her or play with her with it, and all the memories that happened with it that caused her to bond with it so much? I have no idea, and I doubt I ever will know unless I go into some, soul-searching spiritual journey to find out. My responsibility is to be kind to her and to honor what she's been through and to give her more things to remember pleasantly for the rest of her life. So the babies I had before, I love them deeply. It's not like, it's such a cliche thing to say. How can you even put to words how much you love or miss someone or something or a place or a sentimental item? I mean, if I ever took this and hid it from her, she wouldn't be the same person that she is now. She would always remember that there was something she had that she missed, that she loved a lot, and she doesn't have access to it anymore. And it would really mess with her for the rest of her life. We don't know how much pain or how much love we feel. Even the person feeling it doesn't know, because we don't have anything to compare it to. So when people are handling problems differently, when people are handling issues in life differently, be kind. Because you don't know how much somebody else went through to get to be who they are now. Sometimes a person going through it doesn't even know. But she knows. You know how much you went through. I know how much I've went through, but I don't know it consciously. So in those moments when you're mean to yourself and you tell yourself, oh, I don't need this piece of item, I don't need that junk, I don't need this, or, that person can just go away, or, I'm never speaking to that person again, or I'm just never going to this place again. Whatever your situation is where you've decided that it's, the story ends in a certain part for you, or with you, or something involving you, remember that there's more people involved. There's more involved than just what you feel. And usually it's better if we work as a family. Because if this cat can feel such a sentimental bond with this toy. What are you chomping on over there? Look at her. If this cat can have such a sentimental bond with this toy, how would you describe your sentimental bond to your favorite couch, or your favorite sweater, or the baby blanket you had, or a engagement ring just with the love of your life, or there's a necklace that, you know, the one got you and then the one that got away, you know, took it with them, or the dog you had when you were 12. Like, all these memories that are going off in my mind, all these images to explain to you this feeling. If you didn't have those, who would you be? Someone less than you are, and someone less than you could have been. It's like you're taking away your own fulfillment. And it's not okay. Not for anybody else. It's not okay for you to do to yourself. Because really, matter is matter, right? It's just energy consolidated. It's light. It's a bit of information. It's a trick of the play of the archons and whatever else you're doing to create less in the underworld and more in the upper world. But for here and right now, this little bit of matter really matters to her. So be kind to people. You really don't know, like that phrase, one person's trash is another person's treasure. This could mean nothing to another cat, but it means something to her. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to put a price tag on what I would pay to be able to see people I've known in previous lifetimes and different experiences, to see my fur babies from like 10 years ago, from 15 years ago, even from 5 years ago. Like, my life has changed so much, so quickly, in so many different directions. It's really difficult to move forward properly without, one, knowing where you came from, two, knowing where you're going, like that poster I had in an old apartment, in an old house. Don't forget where you came from, and don't lose sight of where you're going. Then you add on to it, always remember where you are right now. Because you could be a mischievous little cat throwing toys into your water and then saving it because you don't want it to get wet. You're a weird cat. You are the weirdest and the sweetest, most sentimental being I've ever met in my life. And you think most of what I'm saying is projection, but it's really not. I'm sitting on the floor in my kitchen and I'm just realizing all of this. It's like my brain is connecting all of the pathways of all these different experiences together to give me this clear picture. We can't be the judge of what's important to someone else. We simply can't be. From people's healing journeys to figuring out what you take with you in your future from your past. It can't be for other people to decide for you. It's your emotional response to something that means something to you. Like, what would the store manager at the Dollar Tree say, you know, if I'm saying, hey, help me pack up the stuff? Or if I hire movers to help me pack up something, they probably break 1,000 different things. The last time I moved from one place to another, I had a few things broken in there, and they were sentimental things to me, and they didn't know. Lily, you got anything else to say? Because I wonder why she does that little thing with her teeth. I've checked her teeth and she's fine. She just does this cute little chomp, 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 chomp thing with her mouth. It's adorable. She can't decide if she wants to purr or grab the toy. Hi, Lily Buds. You're so tiny. My hand looks so huge next to you. How are you such a tiny cat? There she goes again. Do it again. Do it again. Oh. Give me these paws. Give me this little elbow right here. This is mine right here. I want this one. Can I have this one right here? How about this ear? Can I have this ear? Can I have this ear? Can I have this? I guess not. I know, it's yours. What's yours is yours. Okay, we're gonna go. Because I want to have some coffee and I want to watch some relaxing videos because I have been through a journey and a half this past week of I've been on the journey of the Dark Lady, you know, the card in the fairy deck, where she takes you to the depths of what you can handle and then brings you back. This is my first day back, basically. I went through a lot of the stuff that I found a piece of myself is what I'm attempting to say. What do you see in there? Do you want to get back in there? I'm totally enabling you to get into cabinets. I've turned into those people who take cat videos. Oh no. Lily, this is all about the sweetness of you and your toy and the sentimentality of people and their history and their future and their path in life. All over that toy. Give me this little pooch right here. Give me this right here. Can I have this paw? But I want it. Just give me this ear. Can I have this one? How about this one right here? Teeny tiny cat. Teeny tiny. I mean, she's basically as big as 2 bowls. Okay. The main message was, initially, that you should take care of the animals and people in your life. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what means something to them. And you don't know just how much they love you when they say they love you. They could love you in a way where you can't even comprehend that someone can love that much to begin with, and then it's directed at you. Like, that's a lot of love. And for little cat to constantly have her toy by her food whenever she eats. If you really think about it, this cat feels, thinks, remembers, is happy, is sad, chooses, declines, moves forward and backwards, has her good days and bad days. She really does. I live alone with this cat. I see this happening for her and for myself. And in the collective people in the neighborhood around here, and my own family and everything else and all the other people I know. Even the birds outside, you've heard them in some of the videos. Some days there are just no birds out there. Today I heard a flock of ducks, geese or duckies, whatever, that fly by, and then there was one straggler in the back going wah, 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 getting right back to the rest of them. That one that wasn't matching the rest of it isn't because it was flying slowly, it was because it had something happen in its life and it fell behind. We keep thinking animals don't really have these life experiences. We keep them in apartments and we think, oh, it's fine, it's just a cat, it's just a dog. I've heard that so many times. I had a blind dog once. Her name was Ellie. She was 99% blind. She could basically see the Matrix. Just static in the air kind of thing. And she was afraid to walk on surfaces. She really was. She didn't know the texture of grass. She didn't know the texture of concrete. She didn't know the texture of cement or streets or any of it. All she knew was tile flooring. She was born in a garage somewhere in this southern Illinois, and she was moved to northern Illinois to an animal shelter, and then we had found her traveling through Illinois. And she would not walk on surfaces. I had to pick her up to take her out for a walk and then set her down on the grass, and it took me about 2 months, 3 months, every day about 10 hours or so, walking down up and down the block with her, teaching her, feeding her, constantly patting her paws and moving her from one surface to the next. And everybody would say, why are you doing this? Just give her to a shelter, give her to a rescue. You don't have to pick that dog up. She's not a baby. But she was really scared. Can you even imagine not being able to see and having to walk from this surface to this surface to that surface and this in between, and then these little fibers? You really sense everything. We haven't really paid attention to how scary the world is for people that feel things deeply, or for beings that sense things so close to the ground. I think as a human species, we need to be way more considerate, 1, of each other, 2, of the lives we take care of and the lives we interact with, and 3, of how we feel towards each other. I can honestly say I have deep love for everyone in my life, and it isn't because of what they've done or what they haven't done. I simply, and not simply, I see the light in them that is growing or has grown, or wherever they are on their stage, on their journey. I see the love in people. I see the potential of love in people. Animals, places, things, walls, how to decorate them, cabinets, and everything is alive. One day, these cabinets that this cat is constantly opening are going to be different cabinets in some different apartment, and I'm going to sit there remembering this day where I'm sitting here on the floor talking to you with this green toy next to this cabinet. One day she's not going to have this mat. It's going to be all torn up and ripped up and messed up. 10 years from now, 15 years from now. How much is it going to hurt her to not have this toy once it completely disintegrates? There's only so much I can do to stitch it back together when it does. It's going to feel bad. And when those days happen and you get into that sentimental kind of state, you have to become aware that The feeling that you're feeling is the awareness of having loved really deeply. You get it? Like, even the lack of love, even feeling how much you don't like somebody. Because there's been people in my life where I've just been like, I'm so glad I'm never going to talk to that person again. From years ago. Luckily, everybody in my life now is very amazing and pleasant. Like, really, I'm grateful to know everybody in my life right now. But the people that I knew, like, had we been on a different level with each other, in a more heart space level, the memories we shared with each other would have been a lot better. But we're all at different parts of the journey. So what is it that you can do? Be kind. Be kind to everybody. It is not my place to say that this toy means nothing to her. I would be the villain in her story if I ever took that toy from her. If I ever didn't take care of her or her things, I would be the villain in her story. And we've all had enough villains. It's time we really act like heroes to these beings and people. Especially as humans, who are the root word of the word humanity. And if you can't see the sentimentality in a toy for a child, a grown-up, or a cat, then you should really check your humanity. Because if I have to start talking about archons and demigods and interference of negative forces, believe you me, we're going to have a lot to talk about. Oh, I know, I want to have a lot of those talks too. Because I had a lot to say about that subject. I've had a lot sabotaged in my life. And most people would say, oh, you manifest your entire life yourself. Yeah, absolutely you do. But you do know there's also forces that sabotage you to get you to do better, right? So if there's archangels, there's also the opposite. You're in a binary hologram construct. Until you're out of this construct, there's going to be opposites, which means there's something and there's nothing. There's God and there's the opposite, because it's not the real God in here. The real God is it's unfathomable to you. You can't put a name on it. All the aspects of God we know here are aspects, fractals. And one of them has caused a lot of trouble here. Mr. Urge, Mr. Demi the Urge. And the companions of the Demi the Urge. Anyway, this isn't going to get into a Gnostic conversation right now. Maybe some other time, if people are interested. This is just for Lily and her toy. And people that can't see, or that they do see, the sentimentality of life and matter itself. Kudos to you, whether you see it or you don't. Because someday, if you don't see sentimentality as something precious now, you will. And when you do, I really hope that you have the open heart enough to hug yourself and to go do something kind. Because when we realize just how much time we've wasted being unloving to the world we're creating, it's gonna hurt. And when there's no one around to make it better for you, and you're gonna have to rely on your own heart to make it better, I really hope that you are kind to yourself. And if you don't know how to be kind to yourself, role reversal. Pretend you're talking to yourself as your best friend. What would you do for your best friend? What would the goddess Sophia do in all her wisdom? What would Christ do? What would Mother Mary do? What would the best version of you do? The one without the negative spectrum emotions. The emotions that lack love. You pounce on something just to have fun, right? Lily, holy shit. Okay, I'm gonna go. I don't think I'm gonna post this, but I might. Lily, should we post this? Yes or no? She's chomping on it. Lily, should we post this video? Lily, do you want the world to see this? I'll post it on the internet. I'll share your cuteness with the world. 1 meow for yes, 2 meows for no. Do you want to post this? Huh? Do you want to post this on the internet? Silence is not acceptable, little lady. You want to say anything else? Or you want to just look at the camera and be cute? None of it? Lily, how antisocial of you. You're so tiny. Okay. If I've posted this, then hey, I love you unconditionally. If I haven't posted this, I still love you unconditionally. I hope you're having a great day. And please be present in your day and notice everything that could bring you good memories later. It's all about the simple things in life. I love you.